Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Sander and Jess Valentine.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Kate.
What are we doing
Welcome
today?
back to another episode of Seltzer Squad
Yay!
Pod. Staying sober in the city.
Fall Seltzer Squad. My cat is driving me crazy. Oh, there you go, Porcini. For anybody that's watching on Patreon, you might see the guest star, my cat, who's sitting directly in front of the screen. And so is Jess's. All right, you want to answer some questions?
Let's do it.
I know we always forget to say this, but Jess and I are not actually licensed professionals. So any of us answering these questions is really just our opinions and our sage advice. So take it for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. Though I am a baby therapist, I am definitely not a therapist yet. So I am not giving any clinical advice. So here you go. Okay, I'm going to ask. You can answer. Okay. Wanted to send you a thought since I'm not sure that I'm the only squatty missing your longer episodes. Have you all thought about interviewing some of the squad members / letting them tell their story on the pod? I find it really cool hearing about others' journeys, and I think it could be a neat way to increase content. I can't be the only one missing my weekly dose of the podcast.
I feel like the episodes are the same length as they used to be. We just don't do it weekly.
Yeah.
I feel like when we first started, they were like real short, like 15, 20 minutes. So, however, I feel like the thing with that I love that idea.
Me too.
In theory. However, then you're dealing with 3 people's schedules.
Yeah. I think that's the worst part about it is like finding the time. And then also, if I'm interviewing a stranger, I have no way to vet that like they're not going to say something fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like if we're just meeting somebody for the first time, I have like all the other guests, like we've kind of known, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In one way
and
or
we've
another.
you've done a couple, you've done Jack and Jocelyn while
like
I was
I feel
gone,
like I
so
could,
hopefully.
Yeah. I feel like I could interview more of the ones that you and I both know. That would be fine.
Yeah.
But.
Well, maybe this question came before those came out.
True. Yeah, true.
I mean, I wonder if there's a way that we can, be like, hey, record yourself talking for like 15 minutes, or like we give them questions and then we record one of us asking the questions, and then Nat, I don't know how much editing that would be. Right. We'd have to be asking of Nat. So
I don't know. I think it's a good question. Yeah, maybe yes is my answer. Maybe
yes. It would definitely give me some free time because then, but then that's more work for you. So I don't know. Maybe we can like talk about
I'll think
that.
about
like, maybe there's a way to do it. Like if we have like a template of like 10 questions and we record ourselves, asking those questions, and then Nat could just insert those and the people can answer.
Yeah.
The quality might not be quite as good, but it is content. So
yeah, I mean, I think I have
suggestion.
Yeah, I still have, we have one guest that we want to have on to talk about relapse that we need to schedule.
Who's that?
I mentioned it a while ago on a previous episode about a friend who had like a wild hankering for a relapse and did not end up doing it, but was really in danger for a little bit. And you were like, oh, I want to like talk through this with them. So I know that I've definitely reached out to this person and they're like, yeah, totally, let's do it. But again, finding the time has been the biggest problem. But I think this is a great idea and we'll try to figure it out to the best of our ability. Maybe not in the next like month, but we'll think about it. Okay. Question 2. Love the pod. It's helped me through many attempts to get sober. I've been sober since January 1st and doing well. Snaps.
Yay.
I was wondering if you guys had any advice about pushy family members. My boyfriend wants to spend Thanksgiving with his family on Long Island, but they're big drinkers and always pushing alcohol and questioning us when we don't partake until we usually cave. Also, part 2, How do I talk to my boyfriend about wanting to leave if they start getting pushy and I feel my sobriety is at risk? I really hope you see this. Sorry, we didn't see this probably right away.
Well, oh yeah. And then Thanksgiving is
could have been last year.
this
I don't know.
will-
I'm sorry. Thankfully, Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
Yeah. Although this might come out, this actually might be coming out right at like Thanksgiving
Okay, yeah.
or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
But regardless, question still stands. Holiday, not holiday.
Mhm.
I think that's when you just have to put up boundaries and just be like, no, this is what I'm doing. And you can like, I think without being combative, you know how you answer things back with a question like, oh, is my not drinking upsetting you? Or like, or why is my not drinking upsetting you?
Mhm.
Or, oh, you don't want more for yourself? Or I don't know. But again, I don't know if these people have drinking issues or what. She just said they're heavy drinkers.
I mean, if they're being
But you
pushy,
know how it is.
then I feel like
Then they
that's
probably have a
always
problem.
a scary, that's a scary indicator for me. I feel
Yeah.
I
People who are
think
pushy are usually people with issues.
people who, they're the most resistant to the boundaries. They're the ones that get the most butthurt about it.
Yeah. I mean, also, again, not that you have to do this, but you can say like you're on antibiotics, say
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
you're on a
say,
diet.
you could lie.
You know? Yeah. I don't love that idea because then that only covers you for X amount of time.
Yeah, you're right.
But then you could always be like, yeah, well, I felt so great when I, did that 2 weeks off for my antibiotics or for my diet or whatever the
Mhm.
fuck you want to say, and be like, I decided to, stick with it.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think people just need to be reminded that you don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anyone any explanations. And you are well within your right to put up boundaries.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the boyfriend's sober or not because she said they cave, but maybe he just, I don't know, maybe he just drinks.
Maybe he succumbs to the peer pressure because it's his family also. I feel like that could be more normal.
Sure, but if he already is a drinker, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, but she's saying she might want to leave, but it's like maybe it doesn't have to get to that point. Maybe he should just speak up for you and defend you. Or like just jump in. I don't know this whole family dynamic, but I think just standing firm and putting up boundaries
Like,
or
can you
if have to
identify
lie-
an ally amongst the family members? Is there like a sibling, an
Mm.
aunt? Is there someone that you can confide in and say like, hey, I'm really worried about this happening. Can you be my backup? Like, you need somebody in your corner that's gonna, you know what I mean? Have your back to kind of, if they're being pushy, then that person can be like, hey, no, come over here. Let's go look at this. Or, just distract and deflect. I would say like find an ally. Don't go. Be on antibiotics or other white lie.
Yeah.
And then how do I talk to my boyfriend about wanting to leave if they start getting pushy? I mean, you say
Have that conversation beforehand.
Yeah, you have the conversation beforehand, but it's like, to me, it's one of two ways. Hey, I'm worried about them pushing me around. When I give you the hand signal or the look, whatever, like we got to go. Or B, if they're getting pushy and you don't want to leave, I'm going to.
Yeah. But the only thing I can foresee is them leaving or her leaving or, that creating more drama.
I mean, maybe, but why would that? I mean, we're like living in post-COVID times.
Thanksgiving,
but yeah,
it's like, why are you leaving before dinner? You know what I mean?
guess,
Again, I don't know, but like you said, I think that needs to be a conversation before you guys go.
Yeah.
Have some sort of a signal if you're feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even that you want to leave, but you're feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This way your boyfriend knows when to like step in.
You can always run an errand also. If you like need a break, you can be like, hey, we're going to go get ice, or we're going to go get some more seltzer, or you run like a harmless, run a harmless errand to just get out of there, get out of the high pressure environment for a minute.
Yeah. But I do think that if this is, your boyfriend's family. You're probably going to, planning on being together for a minute. So they're going to be in your life and this is
True.
going to come up. So I think that like the sooner you set up these boundaries, the better. And if they have respect for you, they will respect it. It obviously won't come natural to them
Right.
to respect someone not drinking. So I think if you just come from a very like confident, standpoint and explain to them, I'm sure that it won't be a big issue. And you'd be like, more for you,
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's when you need to be direct rather than skirting around it. Because I feel like the skirting around it, like, maybe later, I feel like that leaves the door open.
They know they can smell your weakness.
Yes. And usually people who have issues are the ones that are pushy about it. So that's not abnormal to me. So I don't know. I hope that she hears this and it helps.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it wasn't last Thanksgiving.
I know, right?
Okay. Moving on. By the way, these are questions written in on our Instagram DMs that my assistant lovingly went through all of our DMs and like collated all the questions. So these could be
I was
old. I have no
when
idea.
You did this.
I did not do it. Okay.
Okay.
There are 2 questions for me, and then there's a couple for you. Okay, so question to me is, have you considered getting college credit for your podcast? I wish, but part of me hasn't disclosed this to my teachers and classmates, just keeping church and state separate for now. So maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think so.
Is that a thing?
Because I'm not really... What?
That's a thing that is possible?
I mean, possibly, I think. I'm sure I could figure something out, but I feel like I'm still a baby therapist, so I don't know that I want.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
I get that.
The squaddies
like
have seen all the phases of this education, so I don't know,
Yeah.
The pre, the
Damn,
during,
now we should have like given you a stage name so that when people want to Google you.
Exactly, yeah.
We had to like erase, we had to like wipe the internet of Seltzer Squad. Anything saying Kate Sander.
No, it's okay. I don't take any of it back. It's just like you'll know a lot about me, I guess.
That's it.
Oh my God. Also, okay, never mind. I'll shout out to my personal trainer if you're listening. He's like, you haven't put out a new episode. I'm like, relax. I'm busy. I'm here, aren't I?
They listen?
Yeah. Okay. Questions. Okay, I was just listening to the recent episode where Kate mentioned she went to a resort in Puerto Rico. My boyfriend and I were literally just talking about this. The resort was called the Dreamcatcher Puerto Rico, and you can find them on Instagram. I think it's like Dreamcatcher PR. But that is where we stayed. It is affordable. It is great. Good food, good location. Would recommend. I've been there, stayed there twice now. So that's the answer to that question. Okay. Hi, Jess and Kate. First of all, you two are the best. I'm 24 and have made many half-assed attempts to get sober over the past 2 years. However, your pod has inspired me to try for real this time. I haven't had a drink for 3 weeks, and tonight I am going on a date to get drinks. LOL. My date doesn't know I'm not drinking, but how do I order an NA drink while still being fun? This place we're going to is basically a cozy coffee shop, cocktail bar. Do I order tea, a mocktail, seltzer cran? Basically SOS. How do I date while sober?
Why are they asking me?
Well, you dated while you were sober.
Like one date. Well, I feel like the date has come and gone since this question was posted.
Write in and email us and let us know how it went. And maybe you have some tips. But I just feel like order the non-alcoholic beverage and don't comment on it. You don't owe them an explanation. You could just want a seltzer. Yeah.
I've also just ordered mocktails or one time, I went out for 4 drinks and I got there first so that I had my drink with me. And then when they asked what I was drinking, I said a mocktail. I'm like, oh, just a mocktail. I'm like, I don't drink. And that was it. That was the beginning and the end of the conversation. I don't, you never know if someone's just weirded out to ask about it, or don't know if you want to talk about it, but
I feel like if they're weirded out that you don't drink, that's a red flag. And if they want to know more,
yes.
that's a good sign.
Yeah. I think also the fact that it's like a coffee/cocktail place is so easy. Get a fucking coffee type drink, you know? That sounded bitchy. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying like that's great that has options and it doesn't make it look as sus, if you will. Another, I think before Cam and I's first date, we like chatted and said something. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, she asked like what, we were going on a picnic and she asked what to bring to drink. And I said, oh, whatever, seltzer's good, whatever. I don't drink. Like, again, all just in passing because it doesn't need to be a big deal.
And it sets the expectation.
So, yeah, I just feel like since it's not a big deal to me, it's not a big, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
So if it is a big deal, then maybe not, that's not the right person for you, in my opinion.
I recently went out with coworkers for drinks after, and these are like new coworkers that I've never met before really in real life. And I came a little bit after them. So they had all like sat down, had some chips, guac, whatever, margs. And I sat down and I was like, the server came over and I was like, do you have any non-alcoholic beers? And he was like, yeah, I have Heineken 00. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll take one of those. And like, they looked at me, but no one asked.
Okay.
And I didn't explain. I
mean,
you know, like, and it was a non-issue. Like they weren't like, oh, why are you getting it? They wouldn't have never asked, like, why are you getting an alcohol-free beer? You know? So I do think that it's a little bit more normal now. But I did have like one thought in my head before I like said, do you have any alcohol? Yeah. Like you do have that one like little self insecurity where I'm like, do I want them to know this about me? Like, okay, fine. I don't care. But yeah, it's just
that doesn't even necessarily mean that you're sober.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like you said, I feel like it is becoming way more normalized because if we're at the point where all liquor companies and beer companies, whatever, are making alcoholic free versions of their stuff, there's obviously a high demand for it because that is a lot of product to be pushing. That's, for no reason. If it's not selling. Right. Yeah. So I think that that's also great. Yeah, I think that that's pretty cool.
Okay. This message is with Jes in mind. I'm remembering an episode with a recent trip to Mexico somewhere. I think there was a mini bar in the hotel room. Just wanted to share that I'm staying at a hotel tomorrow, and they said they can remove the alcohol at check-in. Oh, this wasn't a question. Sorry. They can remove the FYI for future travelers. Well, that's a good anecdote.
I think we knew that. I think that we read that before, right? Or maybe this is just another person.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Hi there. Do you have any advice for someone who is experiencing withdrawals, specifically shakes?
Oof.
I can only tell you what I've learned in school.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if you're experiencing physical withdrawal symptoms, I mean, you can go to the doctor, you can go to the emergency room because they can give you some medication to like level you out. If you're not interested in doing that, I mean, I don't know. This is a tricky one for me to answer because people can die from alcohol withdrawals. So it depends on the severity of the withdrawal. It depends on like how, if this is, you know, basically it's like severity and I don't know. But I have also heard from other people, squatties, that had the shakes in the morning and they just had to, you know, white knuckle through it.
I don't feel like I'm in the position to answer that question personally. The only times that happened was if I was like really hungover, and I'm not going to pretend like I didn't just like go and get like a cider or something, hair of the dog, to like level myself out or whatever. Which obviously isn't like good, but I don't know, that it's happened to me so seldomly. Yeah. And always just after like one heavy night of drinking, not from, you know, my body being accustomed to constantly have alcohol in my blood system. So
agree.
I feel like a medical professional perhaps would be a better person.
You could even like call urgent care and ask, because I feel like if you went to like urgent care or something and they could prescribe you like something to deal with anxiety and or maybe give you an IV. I don't know if urgent care does that, but I just wouldn't want you to have to go sit in the emergency room for 9.5 hours. If you could maybe get an answer
I don't
sooner than that.
know. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
But
Maybe it's like
definitely
the
consult a
IV.
medical professional. Yeah, I don't know if it's just dehydration, like magnesium levels are low. It could be in many, many things. But I would not, if you are physically dependent on alcohol, I would not try to reduce without a medical professional at least like giving you a plan.
Yeah,
I don't have that information. Okay. Any book recommendations or movie recommendations as of late?
Do you think that they're sobriety related or?
Yeah, for early sobriety. I thought the Elvis movie was good.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I haven't seen anything. I'm trying to think if I've seen anything that like is even close to sobriety related, movie wise or book wise. I just listened to a book recently, but it was not sobriety related. I don't know. I can't even think about what I've been watching lately, besides from like The Housewives and. Do you watch The Housewives? The Housewives of New York, like the last 2 seasons, there was this one girl, Leah, who was like sober for 9 years, and then she had just started drinking again 6 months before her season. She was like a new cast member, and she went off the rails. Like she was
really
bad.
Oh, that's so sad.
And then like she was like getting naked and like throwing the tiki torches and just being an embarrassment. And the second season that she was on, she was like, so I'm sober again.
Good.
So she was sober again.
Okay, so what season was that? I feel like that would be a good one to watch.
Like the last 2, I want to say like 10 and 11 or something like that. Leah is the character. She's only on 2 seasons. So whatever seasons Leah is on, that was, interesting, but like fictitious or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there was something, and of course it's like escaping my mind right now. I've mostly just been watching horror movies though.
I had to watch a bunch this summer for school. So I rewatched Beautiful Ben, which is still so good. I had to watch.
Is that Beautiful Boy?
Yeah, Beautiful Boy. Sorry, did I say Beautiful Ben? Beautiful Boy.
His name is Ben?
No, his name in the movie's Nick. I don't know where that came from. Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
Steve Carell. That one is very good. I watched When a Man Loves a Woman with Meg Ryan. Also very good. Good fashion also. And I watched Rachel Getting Married with Anne Hathaway.
Oh.
That one's good. I
forgot about that one.
I had forgot about it too. I hadn't watched it in a long time. And then I also watched I rewatch them every now and again, but I feel like they've all like meshed in my head now.
What?
Like movies and shows and stuff. Like I've consumed so much content at this point. I don't know what happened when.
I feel like I probably watched like 28 Days Later with Sandy Bullock. Like kind of recently, but
I also rewatched Grey's Anatomy like from the beginning, and there's a lot of sober people on Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, there's like the brain surgeon who's a recovered heroin addict. I've never seen it. There's an alcoholic. There's people like dealing with substance abuse, like relapsing and stuff like that. So I thought that I think that's a good show, and it's going to be on till I think we all die. So
I never watched it, but I do love Sandra Oh. I watched a movie on a flight with Mila Kunis.
Oh yeah,
called I'm
the heroin
to see
one.
What it was called. Yes,
it was 4 Good Days or whatever.
4 Good Days. That's right.
It's very good.
It was so good.
That's so good. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That's it. I don't know. I don't have any other suggestions.
Okay. Do cringe flashbacks ever stop? I'm on month 4 of sobriety, and I can't help these little jolts of cringe memories. I still get them. Do you get like a little, oh God, shudder? I get them also if I've been in places like, have you ever been to a place in Manhattan where you're like, oh, I was definitely here hammered once, and like I'm getting deja vu?
Yeah, I feel like it's more like that. get some cringy things, like maybe if I'm telling a story or something, but I feel like I'm getting more and more far removed from it, which is really nice. It was really hard in the beginning, but here we are like 4 years later. It's not quite, I've gone longer and longer without embarrassing myself, besides from like, falling while standing up in front of a room full of people. But so I think that, just time kind of puts distance between you and those memories, but they're always like hiding. They're always like there ready to pop out at any given time.
It's also like that was you, but then you evolve, and so it doesn't really feel like that was you anymore. Like the person that did all that cringy shit, like, that's still me, but it feels like a different person. So I'm less embarrassed about it. But also, like, I think that's part of the reason why we do hot mess hoedowns, and we've started the podcast, was because we had so much cringe to talk about that honestly,
oh my God, so much.
You feel less embarrassed when you like share that with others, and then you can,
because
like,
then
laugh about it together.
Also, like, reminded, like, oh right, it's not just me. This happens more than it should, and to more people than you realize, and all that kind of stuff. So
so it does get better, but you will still have the little jolts. That's a very good description. Okay. I'm Rights Out. Hi, I love your podcast. Recently discovered you. Love you gals. I'm right outside of Philly and wondering if you guys have ever done live events or weekend meetups or anything. We did one Zoom once.
Yeah, we did one Zoom. We were going to do a live recording, I think, or some sort of something. And then COVID happened. So
then we did a Zoom. No. We did the one Zoom.
We did the one Zoom, and then that was it.
Which was eerily like 2 years ago in like October. It was like Halloweenish.
Was it?
I think it was like fall.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We have definitely just before COVID, we were talking about doing live events or just meetups or whatever, but that's kind of been put on the back burner because obviously, the pandemic. I mean, I'd be down for us to do like maybe like one event or something, see if people want to come. I don't know if anyone would really want to come. Maybe we could just like rent out the back room of a restaurant or something. I almost said bar, but that's just where they are, like where rooms are.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to doing that. I think also...
I also have my shop, too. We could always just do like a thing there because we have a backyard and stuff. Do like a summertime barbecue or something.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I think you guys are giving us lots of good ideas. I'm into like the meetup idea, but again, I just don't want to be the organizer. Like if I'm invited and it's within like a 1.5 mile radius, I'll come if I can.
I mean,
I just can't.
What would we really
I can't
have
get
to
it
do?
all together.
All we would do, I think, is like pick a date and a time and be like, this is it, and then like see if get some mocktails or whatever.
Oh, you're back. I see. Hello.
Martini.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm going to my first. I was invited to a sober retreat. I'm not hosting it. I'm just going as a guest.
That's cool.
So that'll be fun. It's some sober sleepovers with my friend Lori. I'm going to the one in December. I don't know any other details about it other than I was like, I just want to come to one. Please tell me.
Where is it? Do you know?
It's in New Jersey, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'd like to do more of those, but I'm like never the kind of person that like signs up for the thing on time, and then I always like miss the window. So
yeah,
if I have a good
also
time,
like
maybe
you,
we'll
I don't want to organize it.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, we'll see.
We also talked about potentially doing like something at Kristen's, but
at my place,
I think
like a retreat.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The only thing is, since I feel like if we are, it might be hard for people who don't have cars and stuff, but yeah, I mean, we can definitely think about, again, it's the whole planning it that I don't want to.
I think that I would be open to doing something upstate, like at the beginning of the year or something when it's like cute and cozy up there and like wood
Yeah.
fire stove. Like you've been up there during that time. It's like super,
It's so cute. Yeah.
we could like more snuggly. I just don't want to be like running around and doing all bunch of stuff. That's not the vibe for where I'm at right now.
For sure. Yeah.
Good ideas.
All right. So
Okay.
we got some ideas.
Okay, another question. I'm struggling with cutting back, like huge. One thing I notice is if I don't drink, I cannot sleep. Does this get better? It's not giving me incentives to stop. This is not easy and I'm failing. Did that happen for you? I didn't have trouble sleeping without it.
I think I did.
I feel like you've said that before.
Yeah, I did because my brain just works overtime at night and I would just kind of drink until I fell asleep, ish. A lot of the time, like towards the end. But I mean, obviously it gets better.
Yeah, it does get better. It's definitely, you have to uncondition yourself out of that pattern though. So that's what sucks.
Yeah.
That's what the cutting back part is like. You're going to be like, night 1, oh, I used to have like 5 glasses of wine. And then you're just going to be thinking about that. And then night 2, you know what I mean? And night 3.
Yeah.
Like
it's like obviously not going to get better until you make the change. So like not to be like tough love, but like you need to stop making excuses and just do it. Because
I think the incentive
in the end, it will, like once you're not relying on that.
You ever did.
Exactly. Like seriously though, like so much better. Like it's quality sleep.
Yes.
Quality sleep.
100%.
You don't wake up with like the anxiety and stuff.
Yes. The incentive would be, does it get better? Yes. What you have to think about an incentive for you is like wanting to sleep good, wanting to cut back. Is that outweighing the not being able to? I think you got to hack that a little bit for yourself. And can you truly cut back? Maybe you don't have to quit all the way, but if you're having 5, can you have 4? Can you have 3? Can you have 2?
And like do you want to sleep tonight? Or do you tonight? Or do you want to sleep like
in a week
for like forever, for like longer periods of time? Because sure, immediately you'll have that immediate gratification of sleeping well that night because you blacked out or drank yourself to sleep. However, that doesn't help in the long run. And so it's just kind of like an every night type thing that you're putting a temporary Band-Aid on rather than just ripping it off. And then you'll have quality sleep like for good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like it's easy. It's not. That's why all these podcasts exist and stuff like that, because stopping drinking or even cutting back is difficult. But yes, it gets better, but you have to do it.
It's okay to fail and keep trying.
Yeah, but you got to do it.
Yeah, just keep trying.
It won't get better if you don't do it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
But yeah.
Okay. Have you watched Single Drunk Female on Hulu? I highly recommend it if you haven't. I would love to hear your thoughts on the first season on the pod. No, I haven't seen it. I feel like I would like that.
I don't know
Single
Drunk Female?
It sounds like us.
I feel like it sounds familiar.
I think we're thinking of Single White Female, though.
No, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Single Drunk Female. Oh, okay. And then it's like crossed out and it just says single female and she's got all her like AA chips.
I have seen the graphic now that you show it to me.
I haven't. So I don't know. I thought I heard of it, but now I'm like, now it doesn't look familiar to me. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. This one's a funny question. I'm a huge fan of the podcast and everything you're doing for us sober folks. I'm almost 4 months sober now, not that crazy, but amazing for me. I have never felt clearer, happier, or more energized in my life. I'm inspired to follow my dream of starting my own podcast now, and I wanted to ask you, how did you grow your following and listenership? I'm not an influencer or public figure of any kind, just an average Jane with a pipe dream. My friend and I have an idea of what we want the show to be. In a nutshell, just trying out new experiences in the LA area and talking about them. You two are cool for taking this taboo topic and making it so fun, lighthearted, and relatable. I want to incorporate that into this podcast as well. Just curious about how you went about building your fan base, getting sponsorships, etc. I don't know if we're like the right gals to be asking, but I'm happy to answer.
I don't feel like we have Is that like weird?
Well,
I mean, I
because
know
we don't
people.
feel successful. I think that's why.
I know that people like listen to the podcast,
Yes.
but
We're still
I don't.
assholes.
I don't know. I think just being genuine,
Mm-hmm.
like being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know.
I think the number one thing is be consistent because, I mean, if people can't depend on when something is going to happen, like even for me, like I know that we both don't have the capability right now to do every week, but it makes me feel bad that we don't do it because like in my mind, that was something that we had achieved and I was so proud of that consistency that we maintained it for so long. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I'm using air quotes, fan base grew because they could rely on an episode coming out every single Friday. And now, I mean, I think everybody's used to the every other week, but just be consistent. Like there's a lot of people that I think start and then burn out, and that's really easy to do.
Yes.
And that's the number one reason why I'm glad I have you, because I think we can prevent one another from being burned out.
Yeah, it helps because I would have stopped doing it a really long time ago.
I would have given up by myself.
And I think we both were we were like straddling the line of being burnt out and thinking about canceling it. And that's when we were like, okay, let's just do it every other week because it's too much. And on the other like side of the coin, if you will, we're like so much more successful in our lives because of our sobriety.
Yes.
Which is why we don't have as much time in our free time to be doing this little passion project. When we first got sober, we were in completely different phases of our lives. And we had nothing but time. And now we're both way more successful and just in completely different stages of our lives. Yeah. Like both of us are in like done complete like 180s almost. So it's like it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Like
So yeah, I mean, so how you grow your following and listenership, like I don't know, put effort into it, be yourself. Manage your expectations because I think so my friend Lori sent me a podcast episode recently it was Laura McCowan had started another podcast called Tell Me Something True. And the podcast ran for, I don't know how long, but at the end of it, she gave like her last episode, she broke down like how hard it is to run a podcast. So I would tell this person writing us the question to go listen to that episode because it was like, this is how much it costs. This is how much time goes into it. This is how many people are involved in it. And I think not many people realize like, you know, yeah, we're small and mighty, but we definitely had help. You know, we had Hambone, we have Nat.
Yeah.
But the other thing, like, yes, we have merch. I would say that it's not paying us. The stuff that we sell in the store and our Patreon members, like, barely covers the subscription for our podcast host, Shopify, Zoom. So everything that we've
been doing this
money.
For what? Almost 4 years. And we personally have never gotten a dime.
No.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're not doing it for the money.
I mean,
but
it's not costing us money, I guess, is one way to look at it. Like, it maintains it. I mean,
it's
it probably
balancing
costs
itself
me some money, but yeah, like, it's definitely, so I think managing those expectations. And I think the other thing that has made us, again, air quotes, successful is that we are constantly putting ourselves in the shoes of somebody that's just getting sober for the first time. Because like us, that's how we consumed all these podcasts when we got sober. So just keeping in mind who's really listening and tailoring the episodes to that. That's why I think the questions are really important for us, because it gets us to think about what people really want to know the answer to and gives us episode ideas. So good luck to you. If you start a podcast, please tell us what it is.
Yeah, we should like look her up and see if she ended up doing it, because I'm curious.
And
sweet.
Speaking of podcasts, actually, my friend Lori did start a podcast. I'm looking up the name now. Okay, so I found Lori's podcast, everybody. It is called Get Connected AF, a sober podcast featuring Angie and Lori. So you can download that on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Have a listen. I don't know what the podcast is about, but I'm here for it.
Great questions, guys. Keep them coming.
Yeah, and on
you
that
can
note,
send them to seltzersquadpod@gmail.com. What?
I was just saying it too. seltzersquadpod@gmail.com. Please don't DM
Yeah.
us. I might not. Oh, wait. There was one other question. Is the Facebook group still open? It is still open. I was approving people. There were only 3 people on the waiting list, so I don't think that people are having trouble getting into the Facebook group, but we did have a question about that, so it is indeed still open. Go ahead and join. That would be great. On that note, till we meet again. Be nice to yourself.
Jinx. And don't forget,
hangovers
suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.